The Parks and Recreation Department includes, there's sub-departments. In the general fund, the main thing is the funding source. So Parks and Recreation is the departments in the general fund. It includes the Parks Department, the Petting Farm, the Parks and Rec Special Events, the Recreation Center, and Parks and Rec Administration. That's the sub-departments that come up with Parks and Recreation in the general fund. What Mr. Dobek is talking about is the TBA/Building and Grounds. That is a separate funding source because that is covered for building and grounds underneath a separate levy, which is our building and grounds/TBA levy. So what he was alluding to is like Guido and his crew work on building and grounds, which is allocated to that department, and some work in parks, which is allocated to general fund.
Right, okay.
And the splits are on the details, but typically it's like an 80-20 split or a 10-90 split between the funding sources. So it's really the same kind of crew though, who work in the parks, who also work underneath building and grounds. So that's the main difference.
So what page are you at? Because this is going to work really good with this.
46.
46.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily line by line. You can tell us
Okay.
what our issues were and where we're at.
Well, I mean, as you can see, that I didn't have very many adjustments from my wishes of what we proposed and what the mayor validated and where we adjusted it. We had some overtime taken out. I think he took, I'm not sure, but some of that overtime may have been taken out in the category because we've been using some temps, some seasonal temps.
Right.
That kind of saves on the, yes, and we have some extra manpower to kind of groom the parks a little better. So that was something that we started a couple of years ago, and we're going to stay with that. So I believe that's why that was taken out. But as far as, yeah, but as far as everything that was requested, if you keep going down to page 46, 47, I think some of the utilities here, projected 70,000, difference 72, so we increased. Yeah, I mean, everything here is pretty status quo from the standpoint of what we requested and what, he validated to propose to council. There's no big differences. So now I'm on page 46, now I'm on page 47, and now we fall right into board ups, operating supplies. This is the parks, so to speak, budget. Okay?
So there's a big difference with the one that's park improvement.
Sure, and then this minus of equipment here in the parks, I'm believing that that's a building that we're trying to budget for to get our parks. Is that when D29 came out of?
D29, okay, just the capital outlay stuff, that's the capital outlay stuff, and the main one is that the projected $829,000, that was all park improvements. A lot of it was offset by grants and things like that, but the drainage that was done at Heritage Park, the connection between Wayne Community College and Heritage Park, that little thing, that's all part of the park improvements. But 441,000 of that, which is the difference you see in the current budget from the original, that is related to the TAP grant for Fletcher Park. If you remember, that was the approval from the previous meeting. That wasn't a budget, so we have to take care of that at this point in time. But that is the local portion of the trail for that park. But the other portion of that is the drainage that was done at Heritage Park. One-time expenditures that were done at the parks. Mainly, I think, it was at Heritage, but I think there might have been another park that was involved in there too. But that's what you see there. And then, like I said, nothing really budgeted for next year in those capital items. Again, going underneath the assumption that we talked about that if something comes up, we have fund balance that's better than what we expected at the end of the year, then we can try to allocate some of that to items that we feel that we want to put in there. So,
what's miscellaneous?
$1,500. I got it in my detail sheets.
Jason probably has it. Yeah.
I have two somewhere.
Okay. If I may, Jeff, you don't mind?
No.
Okay, just basically what we have in here is we have paper products for Northwest Pool supplies, cleaning supplies for Northwest Pool, and then some certifications for lifeguard, YMCA certifications. That's what's underneath the miscellaneous area.
It's on Northwest Pool.
Yes, yeah, they're all Northwest Pools.
Jeff, you made a mention about a building.
Yeah, I thought it was in there.
I think we had it originally in TVA, but I think we pulled it because we would likely bond for it
Okay.
instead of budgeting
Okay.
for it.
Building where, how big, and what's your
Well-
thoughts?
So what we were thinking about doing, and Jeff can add to it, we're thinking about tearing down the house and barn and fencing at the petting farm and designing a kind of a metal and block building that replicates the barn that would be used for the park's equipment. So, and storage for the petting farm, the hay and all that. I don't know why that house and barn is there. It's not useful for us. It doesn't do anything. And so,
The city made that.
Well, that was
barn.
my whole argument. We put the parks over in the DPW. The majority of their work is Heritage Park.
And the other.
So now they go there, check in, they gotta load all up, and they gotta come back over here. We need it over there.
So this building, then that equipment would be kept over there as opposed to DPW, and they could punch in over there or sign in or
Yeah,
whatever.
we have at least one, sometimes two employees that work all week at the park. Because by the time you mow the north end, the south end, and get done with it, you're back at the
And
north
so
end
they drive a city vehicle from DPW.
with a
yeah.
trailer and pull the equipment back to DPW.
But not only that, they load it up there, they unload it, they move things around, they get other equipment out of the way,
Right,
because it's so
right,
packed.
I got it.
What are
It's a
you
waste of big
projecting,
time.
the cost of building that building?
Well,
Another $1 million?
no, not a million. And the other thing is too, we're gonna go,
1.1.
Should we get Tiffany to pay for it?
we're gonna go, we're going about it the right way. I don't know if the mayor spoke to what we're gonna do, but we're now in the midst of, we're talking, we'll talk about it when we get to Sportsplex, but locker rooms at the Sportsplex for Bell Tire, this building, and then, of course, the media center over the old court. So we need to get some architectural services on, recognize who's gonna be doing some architect for the city of Taylor. So we're
Right.
currently putting out some information to see what architect firms wanna work with the city, because, we talk about the cart barn. Yeah, the cart barn, we used the lowest bid on designing, the architect designing the cart barn, and it didn't work. We need the most qualified bid.
What structures did you say get demolished in order to get that done at Heritage?
The white old farmhouse that's right behind, if you're on Purdy and you're looking that way, that old white one where it doesn't have a porch on it,
Oh, okay.
the old rickety fence around it.
And also the little barn, the little
okay.
red
Didn't we
dilapidated.
use
Historical
eminent
building, that's it.
domain or something to take that house from somebody? This was years ago what they did.
I don't know.
They used eminent domain or one of those things, this was maybe 20 years ago, to take that house, there was somebody living there, an elderly lady at the time. That was her house, it was her family for years.
Nice try out.
That's the original site of that house.
Huh?
That's the original site of that house.
Yeah, right.
Oh, really?
I'm thinking of like what the grade program, if there's any, where do those expenses show up in this budget?
And
Where- I
some
don't see
are
like
the
maintenance
mowers.
or
So 30%
sewer
of
line for this
one
year's
is-
budget.
We will get, so it's a building and grounds fund.
Okay, got it.
3 spots, parks, TVA, building.
So this building that you're talking about, tearing that house down and putting up there, what's it gonna look like on the outside? It's gonna look like a big metal barn?
Barn.
Just
Yeah,
like an
so
old
the
fashioned barn?
some of the samples we pulled, it would essentially replicate the petting farm. It has to have some continuity with what's there.
Thank you.
So it will be something comparable to that look, but we think it will likely have a brick base, like, the 3-foot decorative brick, and then the rest of it would be a metal design building. We would need it to have automated doors, and we're also trying to figure out a way that it would be for a conveyor system that would get the hay upstairs that we store for the hay and straw for the animals. So we're not looking at just the parks department, but we're also looking at the shortcomings we currently have at the petting farm. So it's kind of an all-in. But what's driving this is these buildings, we're at a point that we need to do something. So what inspired all of this is it's an opportunity to fix 2 problems. The needs that we have, and also 2 dilapidated buildings and fencing that's falling down, and it's truly an eyesore. I mean, those 2 buildings are, I know a lot of people don't see them and pay attention to them, but when you're walking Cone Lake, they stand out, they just, yeah.
The only thing I'd be concerned about is just make it big enough to where all the mowers, everything can fit inside as
Yeah.
opposed to parking them outside to where
Absolutely.
they wouldn't be visually aesthetic, you know?
No, we think that we can build a 12 to 15,000 square foot metal building there. There's enough real estate to do it with the setbacks and all of that.
Yeah, the thing I'm concerned with too, that it's a great idea because we do need it. The biggest thing that I would look at is because of the way the farm sits there, it looks like a little farm and everything there.
Yeah.
To put just a big old silver building sitting
That's what
there.
I'm saying, I hope it
It'd
It'd
looks
be
like
red,
it
it'd be
goes.
red and match the barn.
Oh,
It would look like a barn.
It would look like
would
another
look like a
barn. Okay, good.
They make those look like barns.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
good,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's big old.
So as the mayor alluded to, we are looking for the hay and shavings, because right now, we can, I don't know if this council, but maybe the council before approved the shipping container. And we now store it down the path of, Heritage Park down the blacktop, and we have to go over there and get all the hay,
Where it would be in a building there.
transport it back to the petting farm, so it definitely would, the storage tank didn't cost $1 million, but it's still an inconvenience of going almost to Wayne County Community College to get it and take it back over to the animals, so.
And we're not there yet. I mean, just, I don't want, I mean, when I say infant stages, we're
Right.
looking at architectural review proposals tomorrow morning. I mean, we haven't even really looked at those, I think we had 8 proposals, but Jeff is right on the three really, the big needs are the petting farm building, we'll get to the locker rooms at the Sportsplex and what that means to Bell Tire and the future of the Sportsplex, and then the old court building. So we need design services for all 3 of them, so we packaged them up and submitted, or went out for an RFP for architectural services, and that's where we're at right now, we're
So
reviewing.
before that house comes down, can you contact me, let me know so that we can
Oh,
collect
yeah,
some
we're
of those.
okay.
Oh, no, we're just gonna bulldoze
We're
it.
away.
No, I'm saying there's some
We're a
things
ways
in
away
there
from
that-
Yeah,
no,
we're a
yeah.
ways away
But
from
I'm
that.
just, I just don't